Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Timsy's Naked Tarots. Here you get to see Timsy in his finest, and you can clearly see he is not naked. No, the tarot reads are naked normally, and I try to strip out as much astrology as I can. But I'm not here to do tarot reads today. I'm here to do signs on Sunday. Obviously, you're watching a premiere, so you know I didn't record this on Sunday. It's Saturday, actually. So there we go. So that's all cleared up. We are doing a video on Saturday, and I'm calling it Signs on Sunday because you're going to watch it on Sunday, hopefully. Hopefully I'll get the timings right on this, so you're all watching it on Sunday. Well, it'll first originally appear on your posts on Sunday, but obviously I can't get that right for everywhere in the world. So anyway, signs on Sunday. It's all about signs. I'm going to try to explain signs and what they mean generically. Obviously, each sign is individual to the person who the sign is for. For instance, I've had a few signs in the past. One, when I was in a twin flame soul cycle, I used to watch Steve's Love Tarots, and he always said the divine feminine, or the person who didn't do the running, which is my particular case, was always the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles on his particular deck was a female deer with a little deer nuzzled up to her, like suckling, getting nutrients off her. So that was the Queen of Pentacles in his deck. I can't remember what his deck is called. Animal something. It's not my deck, so don't know the name of it. But anyway, getting back to it, the runner always used to appear as one of the things it always appeared as was a Page of Pentacles, which was in turn the little fallow deer, or the little fawn, which goes with the doe in the Queen of Pentacles. Now, I was driving to work one day, and I drove past a dead deer in the side of the road. Okay, it was a female deer. How sad, I know. It looked just like the deer off his card. Same sort of deer, basically. And then, I don't know, about 50 yards up the road, I found a dead fawn. And it was at that point where I sort of finally accepted and realised that I'm not in the soul cycle anymore. I'm not on that twin flame journey anymore. Okay, my twin flame has decided they're going to go their own way. I've done my bit, they've done their bit. Let's just move on. Okay, so that's one sign. Another sign. You can assign anything to a person if you want. It's like I do my tarots, I use playing cards. This is the playing card what came out of the last read I done, which I think was for Scorpio, but that's not important either. Basically, I've assigned that deck. I use the same deck every time. Here it is, look. Always the same deck to the universe. The universe knows what cards are what in that deck. So when I'm doing my reads, I pull out a certain card. In this particular case, the Jack of Hearts is a Pisces. Okay, I have a little list. I made up a little list right at the beginning to make sure I know what I'm dealing with, as well as the universe. So I every now and then refer back to my list when I can't quite remember what the sign is. But you can do that with anything. So if you have a special person and you want to know if that special person is thinking about you, or is moving towards you, or anything like that, you could assign a fox to that special person, a deer, a bird of some description. So whenever you see that bird, you can judge what's going on with that person. Yeah, if the bird keeps circling around you, it means they're thinking about you, and they're wanting to come towards you. If the birds are coming closer, if the birds are disappearing further away, if the birds just disappear totally, which again is something I done for someone. I assigned them the buzzard. It's a common bird where I am. You get lots of them. Now the buzzard, yeah, I used to see them all the time. Pretty much as soon as I assigned the buzzard to my person, I stopped seeing the buzzard, which kind of suggests that they weren't thinking of me. Maybe I'd got the wrong end of the stick. Maybe they weren't actually a soulmate or assigned to me as I first thought they might have been. Yeah, I desperate need of a haircut, but never mind. And then as time went on, I started seeing buzzards again. Well, perhaps this person was assigned to me, and they are starting to think about me. Maybe they were in a different situation. Maybe they were snowed under with work or some other aspect of life, and they just didn't have time to think about me. But then they started thinking about me, the buzzards appear back. And then more recently, I started seeing kites, red kites in particular. I don't mean the kites you go flying with Mary Poppins. I mean like the bird type kite. And I started seeing them. And then I started seeing buzzards fighting kites away. And so what that suggests to me is the person I assigned buzzard to is and does think highly of me. They think a lot about me. They keep thinking about coming towards me. I keep seeing the buzzards. They come quite close. And I used to see the kites in the distance, but then the kites started getting closer and closer. Now that suggests to me that there is someone else who's interested in me, and they're trying to come in to communicate with me or to make some sort of contact with me. Now, we all feel the energies. Even if you're not a tarot reader, if you're not a medium, fortune teller, rune reader, anything like that, you all feel the energies. You see the energies. Let's start with that first. You see the colour is energy, but it's just a wave, and our eyes translate that wave to our brain, and we see it as a colour, and we assigned a word to that colour: red, blue, yellow, whatever it may be. And that gets taught to you as you grow up. But you also get other feelings, those gut feelings, when you think something is right or something is wrong, when you like someone straight away or hate them straight away. And these are all energies emitting from that person, from the stars, well, not the actual stars themselves, but from the universe coming in, the way planets interact with these energies as they come in, forming eddies, blocking some, allowing others, all that sort of stuff. And you get these energies. So there you go. So you know that someone's coming in. And now other people pick up these energies as well. I pick up the energy that someone's coming in towards me. I see a red kite. I see it more often. It's a bird of prey. They're both bird of prey, red kites and buzzards. Both very similar. They're both scavenger birds of prey. They do hunt, but if they find something dead on the side of the road, they will opt to have that. It's so much easier for them than actually going off and hunting for a living. So this new type of bird of prey comes in, which suggests it's a new person coming in, and the buzzard, or my old person, picks up that there's someone else interested in Simon, Timsy, and then starts fighting them off, pushing them away, trying to keep them away from me. Obviously, this is how I interpret it. I'm pretty sure buzzards fight off kites all the time. They're fighting over territory. They're fighting over food resources. Now, what makes it a sign, what makes it a personal sign, is when you see it and when you notice it. I'm sure I drive along and there's buzzards I don't see, there's kites I don't see, owls. I might occasionally miss the occasional osprey on a, what's it called, a migrational route over to wherever it's going to nest for the year. So they're always there. Signs are always there for all of you. It's how you see them, if you see them, how you interpret them. The other thing where you get signs from is the runes, okay? As I said, you can assign anything to anyone if you want. You could have foxes, owls, birds of prey, crows if you want. But we have runes. There we go. There's a rune. I think it's upside down. That's and that's the right way up. But anyway, all these runes, they come from the Viking era. They probably go back further than that, because you have to bear in mind the Viking era was only the actual sort of last 100 to 300 years of the Norse era. The Vikings is just a very, to be quite honest, it's a word what means pirate in Old Anglo-Saxon, okay, and that's why they got called the Vikings. Obviously, the Vikings sort of died out, intermingled with us and all that, but us English, we carried it on, and we eventually know them as Vikings. But they weren't. They were Norsemen. They were Danish. They were Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, and then later on Icelandic. And out of all them, Icelandic still there. Iceland is still there, believe it or not. Well, so are all the other countries, but the Icelandic actually have the oldest language associated to the Norse. Their ancient Icelandic is the closest language, living language, to the Norse language. But we have runes, and the way the runes work is, the story goes, Odin hung upside down in the tree of the World Tree, I've forgotten what it's called, for 3 days and 3 nights, observing the norms being the 3 giantesses what used to weave time together at the base of the tree, using the well of life, which was the thing that sustained the tree. And while he was hanging there, sacrificing himself for his people, he discovered the secret of runes, telling the future with the runes, because obviously the 3 norms would take the past, present and future and weave it all together. Now, with all forms of mediumship, be it talking to the past, as in the people who have passed, reading the tarots, casting runes, and the like, you have this element of free will. Now, free will is what we are God-given, okay? If you believe in God, if you believe in universes, the universe gave it to us. Or the way I see it is, our minds got so complex, they've turned into like mini universes. We try to balance our own life around us, our own universe around us, not really taking into account everyone else is trying to do the same. And this is where things cross and get tangled and messy. And of course, then you have the whole universe, which is also just trying to make balance. Now, we get in the way of the universe's plans. The universe might want me to go and be with Miss X to create a child who's then going to go on and cure cancer. But I have my free will, and I decide I don't want to be with Miss X. I want to be with Miss J, because Miss J is more wealthy. Not that I'm into wealth or anything like that, so that's not really true, but it's just for an example. And we all mess about with them. So the signs, they all come in different shapes and forms. What I'm trying to get at is the sign is always independent and unique to you. You might see 2 birds of prey fighting each other off, and it might mean something totally different to you. It might mean to you 2 groups of people which have similar interests, similar habits, similar hobbies, which are in conflict with each other. It might mean that your ideas are up in the air and being tousled and jostled around with by something else, which is a similar idea, or possibly a similar person having an idea like yours. So this is why I'm going to go into the signs and what they mean, like frogs at your door, black cats crossing your path, and all that sort of stuff. Crows, loads of things. You will not believe how many things have signs attached to them. And some of them are quite different to others. So for an example, if you dream of a tornado, okay, you could be having something sort of kind of tearing your life apart coming up. It's a premonition of something tearing your life apart. Now, if you dream of a grey tornado or a white tornado or a black tornado, they all mean different things. It's not always the same thing. Sometimes it's ripping your life apart for the good. Sometimes it's ripping your life apart from the bad. If you see it from far away, it means there's something happening which is going to affect your life, but it's not directly, it's going to be indirectly, and so on and so on. So that is where hopefully all this will go. I will try my best to get it out every Sunday, roughly at the same time. I'm thinking about 10 o'clock in the morning my time. That should be still Sunday over in Australia, and hopefully all you Americans on the West Coast will be asleep and you will find it on Sunday morning when you wake up. Fingers crossed. Unless, of course, you're all night owls, and then you will just find it whenever you find it. But unfortunately, YouTube don't give you an option for time zonage. It would be nice if they did, so you could have your video coming out at a time zone in every different time zone at the same time zone. So you all see it at 10 o'clock in the morning in your local zone, but they don't. Maybe it's something I'll have to talk to YouTube about, send them an email and say, why don't you have this option in your premiere timing? But generally speaking, if that was the case, I would have to be on lots of different times to do lots of different messages at once. That wouldn't really work, and I understand why they don't do it. But again, so one of the main reasons I have decided to do signs is to sort of help you, the viewer. You may not be gifted in reading tarots. You may be gifted in reading tarots. You may not know the signs. You may know the signs. But it's to try to clarify them for you, help you see your own signs. You're obviously watching tarot readings. There's something you want to find out, something you want to learn. Now, the universe is giving you those signs all the time. All you have to do is be aware of them. Now, ironically, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. Take your face out of your mobile phone, stop watching this video, start looking around you for the signs. As I said, they come in all different shapes and sizes, forms. Sometimes you just hear snatches of conversation, like someone's walking past you on the phone to someone and you hear part of their conversation. That's your sign. It relates to you somehow, and that's why you heard it. And the other reason I'm doing this is because I've had more and more people coming over to me who I don't go out, publicize it. I don't do events or anything like that. I literally just do my YouTube channel. I do a few tarot reads for friends and family, but generally speaking, no, I don't. It's not a full-time job for me. It's just something I do on the side. But people are coming to me who I don't expect. People who I know for a fact don't really believe in all this stuff, and they're asking me, "Oh, I had this weird dream. What do you think it means?" And one of my friends, they saw a frog at their doorstep, and that's why I mentioned frogs earlier on. And then a day or two later, they found one at the door of their car. Yeah, but they parked up, finished doing the job they were doing, went to their car, and there it was, a frog outside their car. Now, generally speaking, frogs, they mean transformation, change. They start off as tadpoles, turn into frogs. There's this metamorphosis, what goes on with them. So that's the first thing I jump to straight away. There's some sort of change, but it's also bringing good luck, good fortune, changes for the better. And surprisingly, when I went to Google, what does a frog mean? Because after I told them what I think it meant from my own gut feeling, I then went and Googled it, A, just to give them some more information, and B, just to back up what I felt. And surprisingly, it was one of the top hits. So clearly it weren't just her seeing frogs on her doorstep over that small period of time. Quite a lot of other people did, because they were Googling, what does a frog on my doorstep mean? So there you go. And yeah, dreams, people are asking me about dreams, the Northern Lights. Well, the Northern Lights is a scientific thing. We get hit by solar energy from the sun, CME discharges, solar flares. It interacts with our magnetosphere, creates the Northern Lights. But I don't know if you've noticed, we're seeing them further south than we used to. We're seeing them different colours than they used to, greens and blues. Normally we're seeing lots of reds, purples and magentas. Don't know why magenta just popped into my head, but magentas. And this is an indication of either the sun's releasing more energy in this particular cycle, so it's affecting the magnetosphere more, or the magnetosphere is weakening for some reason. And if you are into all your science and stuff, you will probably know that the North and South Pole are doing a migration at the moment. They're moving their positions for whatever reason. I have theories on it, and I follow people who have theories on it, but this is not a video to go into that. But if you do want to look into it, look up suspicious observers. They cover a hell of a lot about it there. But yeah, there is these things. And if you've never seen the Northern Lights and you're pondering a question about, oh, do they love me? Am I going to get the right job? Will I ever move into the perfect house? Any of those things. And one day you're standing outside and you see the Northern Lights. It's like, oh, it's a sign. And it probably is. You were there in the right place at the right time. It's not like the Northern Lights happen every day of the week. And another thing is when you see the sign. For instance, I smoke. I often say that when I'm doing my YouTube channel and doing my videos. I cough and hack my guts up, normally off air because I pause it. But yeah, I smoke. I go outside. I don't smoke in my house because I don't like the smell of it, the stale smoke. So I smoke outside. Now, I was watching a plane fly over one day. It was flying towards the west. It was the evening. The sun had set. It was setting. It was behind the houses, so the sun weren't glaring in my eyes. And I watched the plane fly over, and as it got to a certain point, it suddenly became 3 stars. It weren't a plane anymore, it was 3 stars. And these 3 stars slowly merged into one massive bright star. And then slowly merged back into 3 stars and then disappeared. Now, if I only saw that little bit, it would be, wow, that's a sign. The 3 stars, they look like 3 pentacles moving into 1 pentacle. I want to work on something new with someone, and it's going to become a great founded new star, and then it's going to spur back out into working with other people because of the 3 pentacles. And stars, they look like pentacles, things like that. So it could have been how I interpreted it. Well, I was lucky enough to see the plane flying over me first before it turned into 3 stars. So I knew it weren't a UFO. I knew it weren't, well, it was a sign. I actually took it as a sign I should really get off my ass and do this video, which I had been playing around with for the better part of about 2 months. I've been thinking, oh, I've got to get on, I've got to do these videos about signs and all that. So yeah, I'm finally doing it. This is just the introduction. I'm not going to delve deep into any particular sign at the moment, but if you do want me to delve deep into any particular sign, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you have something you've noticed around your way quite a lot, perhaps you're seeing frogs, perhaps you keep seeing a certain cat walk across your path at a certain time of day. Perhaps there's always a type of bird what flies and lands on your bird table, but it isn't a normal one, and you want some sort of explanation why. Drop it in the comments and I will look into it for you. I think the first thing I will look into in more detail is the frogs. Okay, as we were talking about frogs on this particular video, I will look into that, and that will be the first topic I will be going into on my next video next Sunday. Well, next Saturday. We'll be doing frogs. I will cover anything else you drop in the comments on the run-up before I do the video. I'll do a little bit of research in and give you my own gut feeling interpretations of them. If you have any dreams or anything, feel free. You can email me them, and if you're happy for me to discuss them on these particular videos, I will. And yeah, I interpret dreams as well as do tarot reads. I've been interpreting dreams for people a lot longer than I've been doing tarot reads. It kind of is my little calling, but that will be in that. So that is the whole idea of this little section. Hopefully I won't take up too much of your time. It depends how in depth we go, how much information I can find on particular topics, and how much you actually contribute to these videos as well by giving me subjects you want me to look into for you. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope you've had a brilliant weekend. As I said, this should be posting around about 10 o'clock tomorrow, my time, Sunday morning, which will be about 10 o'clock PM in sort of Australia area. And by my maths, it would be about, it might be about 1 o'clock in the morning over in America. Okay, on the west coast. It'll probably be about 3 o'clock in the morning on the east coast, as long as I've got all my maths right. So, okay then, hope you all have a wonderful time, and I will see you again soon with another Signs on Sunday, Sunday Signs, however you want to call it. I will decide on what I'm going to call it and put it in the title of the video. And yeah, hope you enjoy this. As I said, it's going up as a premiere, so I will be online hopefully to chat with you in the comment section as it goes live, so to speak, at around about 10 o'clock my time. Thank you very much. Catch you all soon.